All right, so we have three units of length. Um, a kilometer. A kilometer is pretty much used to measure larger distances. A kilometer is about zero point 0.6 of a mile. So, so again, a kilometer would be used to measure lengths that are large. Somewhat larger things. And then a millimeter. A millimeter is a thousandth of a meter. A millimeter is very small, so this could be used to measure small lengths. A kilometer is 1,000 meters. So kilometer is used to measure larger items. Millimeter would be smaller, and a meter would be maybe like the middle ground. A meter is I'm going to use to measure things of more of a middle length. So we have to identify what we would use to typically measure these items. If we look at this one, the distance from New York City to Washington D.C., and that's a larger distance, and we would use kilometer for that one. Any of the larger distances, we would use a kilometer. The altitude of an airplane, an airplane, is going to be very high in the sky. A meter is about 3.1 feet is all. So an airplane in the air is not going to be, of course, 3.1 feet. A millimeter is incredibly tiny. It would take 1,000 millimeters to equal 1 meter. So a millimeter is very small. So it's not millimeter, of course. A kilometer would be this one. Now the diameter of a screw, that's very small. So that one would be millimeter. The width of a human foot would also be millimeter. That's a small distance. The width of a book is a small distance. The length of a car is sort of like a medium distance. This one would be meter. Again, a meter is about 3.1 feet, so the length of a car would be a few meters. A person's height would also be, most people would be about 1 point something meters tall, or maybe 2 meters tall. The length of a football field would be meters. Length of a bee, that's a small distance, so that would be millimeter. And the distance of a house, a kilometer is too big for that, and a millimeter is way too small. This would be a meter.